All right, welcome back to another episode of Fourth and
Whatever.
I'm Coach Evan's wife, Christian.
And I'm Coach Woodard's wife, Jenny.
And we're going to tell you a little bit about our perspective as a coach's wife and answer some questions that we got.
Okay, how do you handle wins versus losses emotionally for yourself and for your husband?
Let's see. Well, Philip is not a very emotional person. He is not a very doesn't really he's just very stoic, very nonchalant all the time. And I'm not like that. I get very emotionally invested into things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times when we lose, I'm coming home and I'm like, I can't believe
You need to talk it out. Yeah.
Yes. And he's like, I mean, we just didn't play good football or people just didn't do their thing. And I'm like literally it's the same thing every single time.
And then when he wins?
And then when he wins, he's like, yeah, man, we did what we were supposed to do.
We did our job.
We did our job. And I'm like, bro, you should be excited.
He sounds exactly like that too.
I know, right? He's literally every week, I'm like, all right, babe, how's it looking this week? And he was like, well, and he has the same response because he says the same response to everybody
Mine probably
else.
says the same thing
He
too.
says, well, if everybody goes out there and does what they're supposed to do, we'll be all right. That's literally what he says.
Preston says every week, he goes, we got to play good.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's the only thing I get. I'm like,
well, no crap. You got to play good. But can you give me a little bit more? So
Yeah.
I feel like I struggle. I have a hard time letting go of things versus because obviously I don't see what y'all do at practices. And so for him, a lot, for example, the Laporte loss, he said that wasn't, a surprise. He was like, we just were not playing good football. And I'm like, but we did, and I'm coming home and I'm frustrated. And he was frustrated, but it was when he was like, when I see how they play, we shouldn't have won that game because we were not playing our best football.
Right. Yeah.
We weren't playing. He's a very logical person in that. And
almost analytical about it.
Yes. He has a full recipe of we just weren't doing our jobs. And then now the only time I think I've ever seen him truly mad was the Smithson Valley game. And I mean, I feel like everyone was like that, but that's really that one. And then I want to say it was 3 years ago, I think we lost to College Station in the playoffs.
Hard too.
Were you at, I think that was y'all's first year.
That was our first year.
And we were.
Preston still talks about that game.
The hardest part was we lost by a touch. I think it was a touchdown.
Something like that, yeah.
And the touchdown that they said wasn't a touchdown for us. I literally got a picture of him catching the ball. That's what's so hard is I literally got a picture of it happening. But, Texas high school football doesn't allow for replays.
And you know what's funny is that except for 1 year, I don't remember what years, but every single team that we have lost to in the playoffs, all 5 years
have gone to state,
have played in the state game.
Yeah.
Even at our last school when we went.
That's right. I remember him saying that.
Every single one. I think there's one that didn't, but it was it's wild.
Everyone says oh, well, that's good. You win against the state champs.
I hate that.
That doesn't make it any better because we could have, in my mind, I'm well, we could have beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Little things like that. So I've only ever seen Philip get mad about certain games.
Yeah.
And I have to be very careful because if he's mad, then he really doesn't want to talk about it. He'll let me usually rant and do my thing.
Right.
And so I have to be very mindful of that and pay attention. Watching the state game this year was really hard for him.
Ooh,
but I was I want to, I'm a glutton for punishment. I want to watch it. I got to watch it. And then when they won, I was like, bruh. And so Philip and I literally just talked about it because then again, my family doesn't do, they don't know the life. They don't get it.
Yeah.
And so, then we went to Christmas and they were like, oh, y'all had a great run this year. And Phil was like, yeah, we did. And it's he doesn't want to talk, we were a week off of it.
It's too soon, y'all.
Yes.
It's too soon.
So I think we're very chill, whether it's we win or lose. There's been pockets of excitement and pockets of frustration, but I know Woodard is a lot more animated and a lot more passionate would be the right word than Philip is. Not that Philip's not passionate, but
it's a level
displayed differently.
There's other levels
so I
to
know
this.
Y'all have different, y'all's is a little bit different.
Yeah, we're both really competitive, super, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
to be all into coaching and that lifestyle, but it can also be very detrimental to the well-being of our household,
the environment.
Yes, we're just at our last school, we lost a game, and it wasn't even one that we should have lost. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a big playoff game, it wasn't something it was just one of those games where it's like, "W
Nothing came together kind
what
of
the
thing.
heck
Yeah.
happened?" Like, and I remember Preston coming home and just being pissed off,
Oh
like,
my
the
gosh.
whole weekend, and I follow a lot of coaching, wives pages and all this stuff like that on Instagrams and social medias, all that stuff, and somebody had posted about it, like, a couple weeks, maybe a week or 2 before, and I was, like, so glad. They were like, "We had to put a 24-hour window on our negative energy in the house because it was getting too much."
Yeah.
Because it's like, and I had to tell 'em, I said, "Listen, that was it's been too long." I
Like,
was like,
dude, that
"It's"
was rough, but
like, I understand you can't move on, you can't get better if you don't let it go and leave it in the past, and
yeah.
I think he's done a lot better job about it since then because, I mean, it was rough. "I'm on your side." Like,
Yeah. Like, don't fight with me.
I'm just as upset about it as you are, but, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's over and done with.
Yeah.
The only way to get better is starting right now. So, like,
Well, and that's what people don't understand is like you literally have like they don't really have time to process the loss
yeah,
because
they
the
gotta
next
start over.
day they're game planning
Yep.
for the next game and the next
Well,
game and the next game, you know?
what's even worse, after the port game that we lost during
Mhm.
district, Preston came home more angry on Saturday than he was Friday
After
night
watching film.
because he had to watch they have to watch, so
Yes.
Preston's like, "I have to watch the game 3
Yes.
times. I have
Yeah.
to watch the game while I'm coaching it. I have to
Mhm.
watch the game Friday night to break down stuff with Dor, and then
Mhm.
I have Saturday morning, I gotta break it all down again
Yeah.
with the kids." And I just, like, he was like, I'm even more
Well,
mad
because then they're
Saturday morning."
noticing more and more
Yeah,
things that they did wrong or that like they shouldn't have done, you know.
exactly.
And that's the hard part is like you have to relive it again on
Yes.
Saturday and then
And then you get, like,
literally
12 hours, and then Sunday, you're like,
yeah,
"Okay, it's
if
game time."
even, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like depending on like I know during playoffs they were planning a couple weeks, you know, as
Yes.
much early as they could. And so it was like they really didn't have time, which was kind of
No.
a good thing, but like they didn't have time to process
Yeah.
anything, you
I just
know.
remember after, like, when we got to a certain point, I was literally telling, because me and Michaela would ride together, and we like, all
Oh
3 of
yeah.
us would meet at for Chick-fil-A. That was,
Oh
like, our
yes,
thing,
yes.
and then we would go to the game, and, like, after NRG and, like, after a couple of games, we'd both just sit in the car, be like, "What just happened?" Like,
Literally.
can you just believe that just happened? I
That's
can't believe
how
that
it
just
was
happened."
after NRG, like, I that day was such a blur,
Yeah,
but,
for
like, in
you
the best
especially.
way, and
Yeah.
I remember on the way home from Houston, like, all 3 boys fell asleep in the car, and I think
Yeah.
I sat in the driveway for a good, like, 5 minutes of just, like, first of all, holy crap, we made it through the day.
Yeah.
And then
You
it was
did
like,
it.
holy crap, we won. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then, you know, Phillips coming in behind and he was like, and you know, that was a really high game for us. Like
Yeah.
that was a really we talked about that, you
Yeah.
know, all the way till Swiss Valley.
Yes.
And then we still talk about, you know, we're still
Yeah.
that's like our version of like the best game that we had probably all season, I felt like, you know.
It was just one of those things where it's like everything lined up the way it was supposed to, like,
Yeah.
it's like the boys
I'm sure the
almost peaked at
coaches
the right
wouldn't say
time.
that, but like for the
Yeah, I
fans.
mean, for the most part, I do think that Preston said this, he was like, "Everybody did their job." Like,
Yeah.
when it mattered and when it got gritty, like, you could tell, like,
Yeah.
and it and there's times where it's like some of them, the kids get tired, it just is what it is. Football is a hard, draining sport, like, it just
Physically and mentally, yeah.
yes, and it's almost like you could see them get more energized in the
Yeah.
4th quarter, like,
Well, and I will say this group had
so special.
so much heart and so much work
Yes.
ethic. Like, even in the Smithson Valley game, like, they really tried their hardest to, like,
Yeah.
push and push to the last second, you know?
And it's really cool, you can see their
Um,
grit, like, who really has it and who really
yeah.
cares about it.
And to see it played out, and, like, for them,
Yeah.
you know, they probably don't see it now, but, like, in years, they're gonna
Yeah.
be, you know, I my one of my students was the one of the ones who caught the ball that, like,
Yes.
tied the game, and he literally still talks about it today. Like, he's like, "Oh," you know, he'll, like, be joking around,
Right.
so he'll be like, "Did you catch a ball at NRG?" "No, but I did." You know, and I'm like,
Right.
"That's" you know, but that's what it's about. Like, those are
Absolutely.
those memories, those key moments.
But it's funny because when my husband's very animated, like you said, like, so when we win, like,
He's all in,
he's
isn't he?
all in,
Yes.
like, and it's hilarious. I have several videos of him, like, running down the sidelines doing, like, some weird run or, like,
Yes.
just almost like dancing sort of, and, like, I'm just like, "What is happening?"
Which, no hate to him, he's, like, the shortest coach, but, like, you
Yes.
can point him out on the
Y
sidelines
100%.
as if we're doing something good or if we're doing something bad.
Yeah,
We can point him out.
he definitely, like, will be the most animated, most excited coach on the sideline, but he'll also be, like, maybe the second most, like, angry on the sidelines too, like, him and Gardner both will, like
I think it depends
they go toe to
on
toe a little bit.
I think it depends on the game
Yeah.
because there's a couple times I've seen some coaches, I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yes.
Like, he's getting mad, then we know something's going down, you know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because I could always tell, like, at our last school when I was like, "Oh, Preston's mad." And they're like, "How do you know?" And I was like, "He flipped his hat backwards." Like, his hat's backwards, he's pissed,
Oh,
he's in the zone,
yeah.
someone's about to get yelled at,
My
they need
favorite
to
thing is
clean
when they,
up.
like, rip off the headset.
Oh,
Like, that's
Preston broke
probably my
one.
favorite I know you told me that.
He
Like, that's probably
broke
one of
his
my
at
favorite
energy.
things.
Yeah. I, like, LOLs.
Not favorite thing, but, like or, like, the clipboard, like,
It's
the
it's it's more like funny, like, favorite thing funny because
yeah.
it's like in your head, you're like, "It's just a game," but, like, you know overall it's not.
But, like, you're also, like, doing the same thing up in the
Oh,
stands.
100%. 100%.
Yes.
And everybody who sits around me knows that he and I act the same way during games.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I think
I
you're a little bit more conservative than he is, a little bit. Maybe you
oh,
just do that
yes,
because you have to be.
partially that. But I also like having your kids around me was probably a good thing too because they're
Jordan will call you out if you say something.
100%. I'm 90% sure I said I dropped an F-bomb one time, and Jordan turned around and just looked at me. He goes, "That's not what we say." And I was like, "Jordan,
Shut up, Jordan.
turn around and face forward."
See, honestly, that was probably the best part about them being on the sidelines is because they care, but, like, they also don't have, like, the brain capacity to, like,
Fully get
fully
everything.
get
Yeah.
everything, and so, like, they'll say stuff, and I'll be like, "No, that's not right." So whenever I started, like, trusting them to be on the sidelines for, like, being a ball boy
Yeah.
was so much better for my mental health because there was a couple of times where I'm like, "Bro, if you" and then when I
Well,
think
it's
Jordan started crying at, um,
they both
the Smithson
started
Valley.
crying.
Well, no, like, in the
Oh,
stands.
yes.
When he started crying in the stands, I was like, "Bruh, like, I can't take this right now because
It
I'm
was
trying." It was
rough.
oh, my middle is so emotional, like, God bless his soul. Well, really, they both
They
are.
both
There's a
are.
picture of Maddox, like, in the facts with, I think Philip was hugging, like, Rylan, and you see Jordan or Maddox,
Maddox
like,
just
sobbing.
crying.
I mean, like, you would have thought he lost the freaking game.
Him and Case both were on the sidelines after Smith and Valley, just both crying, and I was like, I can't do it. I cannot do it."
I was good until, like, when I see other people cry, I'm a sympathy crier.
Yeah. I'm
I'm a sympathy crier.
I was feeling really confident, and I was more so just mad. Like, I was
Yeah.
pissed. Me and Lauren both were just, like, standing at the gate waiting for us to get let in,
Yeah.
and I was just like,
Well,
I
because they
j
were kinda tripping too about, like, letting us on the field before
yes,
the game, like, not
and
before the game, but, like,
I
they were kinda
told
missing.
I told her at one point, I said, "I hope so and so beats them so bad next week." And she goes, "Me too." And we both of us are just, like, mad, just fuming, right? And then we walk her down, and I, like, walk by and Case and Maddox are both just, like, tears, and I'm like, "And I'm done. I can't. I'm out."
I swear they acted like which I get it, like, I mean, those are their idols, like, they look up to them,
Absolutely.
like, those are their not idols, they're, like, role
They're role
models.
models,
But,
absolutely.
like, for them, Maddox is very familiar with kids graduating
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and so for him, like, that's another reminder of, like, "Oh my god, it's actually over,"
These are my
you
last
know?
yeah, they're the last ones, yeah. It's
And
so sad.
yeah. Oh, god.
But the highs of the wins are, like, so good.
Yeah, yeah, most of the time.
I mean,
Sometimes it's like you almost feels like too good to be true. I think that's the hard
yeah,
part is, like, I think
that's how I felt after Energy. I was like, "There's
yeah.
no way this just happened."
Well, I think everybody felt like that. They're like I think we all looked at each other and was like, "What just happened?" Like, this is actually and that's the furthest we've ever gone in our
Yeah.
coaching career in
Yeah, us too.
playoffs. And so it was like real uncharted territory. It was like, this is like another, this is too
It
good to
feels
be
so
true.
surreal, like, I'm
Yes.
living a double life. This is not
Yes.
me. This
I'm
is
living the
my
dream.
twin.
Yes. Like you're like watching something play out, but like you're a part of it. It's like,
Yes.
but it really is. I mean, it really is worth it. Like looking back, like it was a long season, but it was such a beautiful
So
season. Like
good.
this was such a good season. Like it will live in my memory until we win state.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
What's been your proudest moment as a coach's wife?
um, don't know. Like, I think just watching him live out his dream. Like, I know
Yeah.
that sounds so cheesy,
It's so good
but
though.
anybody who's met Philip has known that, like, his dream was to be a football coach. Like,
Yeah.
anybody in our town will tell you, like, that's who he was meant to be.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we first got married, Philip took whatever job was available. It was a PE, elementary PE position. And then when you take that and you get in the rut of things and you start dealing with kids, you start realizing that, like, making drastic changes is harder. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like you
Yeah.
can just, like, you know, pack up and move just
Yeah.
for the heck of it, you know what I mean? And so I think that for me, like, every time I see him out there at practice or pregame or and and it being our alma mater is just, like, a little bit more special, like,
Mhm.
that was always his goal. Like, I wanna
Yeah.
come back to Angleton and I wanna coach in
Yeah.
Angleton. And so for me, like, just watching him live out that dream, because the thing is now that we have kids, we can say, like, you know, the boys love to ask us all the time, like, "Mom, Daddy, what did you want to be when you grew up?" And, like, the fact that Philip can say, like, "I wanted to be a football coach for Angleton,"
Yeah.
and that's what he is. He's doing that. Like, that's what's special for me.
Yeah.
And seeing, you know, he has a gift for kids. He has a gift for specifically like high school aged kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's really his mission field, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Like, even our second kid, Jordan, is named after a high school kid that we
Yeah.
mentored and that we poured into and really became like a kid to us.
Right.
And so getting to see him really do that day in and day out, and, like, for me, that's what makes me proud. Like, the winning, cool, is great, but,
Yeah.
like, even, like, in the thick of it, he's teaching things beyond football, beyond, you know, the sidelines. He's teaching them life
Absolutely.
skills, and watching different kids come back and say, you know, how much they appreciate him and stuff like that. Like, that is like, that's my moment. Like, that's my monument, you know? Like, the
Yeah.
Bible talks about, like, building a monument for things. Like, that is the monument that I have
Yeah.
built here. And so, I mean, I know it sounds really cheesy and, like, you know, but that, I mean, that really is. Like, we could be in the worst district, in the worst
Yeah.
place ever, and as long as he's happy and as long as he's living out what he
Absolutely.
wants to do, then whatever, I'm cool,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Hey, if they're losing, there's a little more time than I give them, I guess, you know?
Guess
But
so.
thank God we're not losing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for us, it's my thing is it's like as soon as he puts on the slacks and the polo, like
Aw.
I just he's worked so hard
Yeah.
and I'm just so proud. And I think the coolest thing is getting like during pregame is fun and like watching him do his thing, but I think as soon as he gets into the zone, like he's
Yeah, you
always
can, like,
like
see him checked
yeah,
in.
and it's
Yeah.
like he and I have a little handshake that we do before
I know,
games.
it's so cute, guys. Oh, it's so cute.
But we do a little handshake before the game and he's like I was like, "All right, go get him." And it's just like it automatically just turns on. And I
Yeah.
think like it's so fun and then he puts and then me, I'm like, "Yeah, put that headset on, baby. Yeah,
You're like,
yeah."
there he go. That
Yes.
one's mine."
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm just it's just it's so cool because, he is one of the ones throwing the plays in, he's doing the signs, and I'm just like he's always talked about how he's wanted to do that. Like,
Yeah.
he's all like, that's his thing, he loves it, he's like, "It's so hard, but it's so much fun." And that's,
Yeah.
like, part of his joy, and so it's like, just getting to see him do that is, like, so special. And it's like it's funny because before, we got to see he really, um he can be a really hard coach, like,
Yeah.
that's just who he is, but there are players that need that. There's players that need to be
100%.
coached hard and need like, you need to be in their face and they have to, like because that's what they know, that's how they process stuff, and it's like, if you're soft with a kid, then, like, it's not sometimes it's not effective, like
Yeah.
and so but I think it's so cool to see those kids, like, there's one kid in particular, it's like, that's his kid, like, he
Mhm.
reminds me of Preston when he was little, like
Yeah.
and so it's like every time he's like he's in his face, but, like, that kid knows that Preston would go 10 toes down for him any
Yeah.
day of the week, and, I think that's special, I'm like, it makes me proud to see him thrive in something that, like, he needed, and he needed a
Yeah.
coach to be in his corner, and it's, like, really cool to see them be in those kids' corners.
Yeah.
So I think that's special, and, um, I like to win.
Yeah,
When we
like
win, I'm like, "Yeah, baby."
well, and
Like,
I
super
think,
proud.
that's a lot of people don't realize, like, they say it, but I think you don't really realize how many of these kids may not have
Yeah,
an adult in their corner that's, like,
absolutely.
for them that, and we say this all the time, but, like, they spend more time with other
Yes.
people's kids than their own kids, their own families, and
Yeah,
so, like, you don't do that unless you love and are passionate about that part of it, and, I
absolutely.
mean, if you do, then, sweetie, you're in the wrong job, like, go somewhere
Yeah,
else.
and that's part of one of the things that, we talked about whenever we, were getting married and, like, talking about what this life is gonna look like. It's like, he's like, "I need somebody who's gonna be all in with me."
Yeah.
And, because kids need to see what that relationship is like, because some of them don't come
Yeah.
from a healthy marriage household,
Yeah. I
like,
mean, a lot of kids these days don't have a two-parent home.
they don't know
And
what
so
that
seeing
looks
that,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, and so, and having somebody show up for you,
Yeah.
that's so important. Preston talks about that all the time. He said, "I always had somebody in the stands for me."
Yeah.
And, and he's like, "I'm those kids need to have somebody in the stands for them. That's it just
Yeah.
is what it is." And so, that's kind of like one of the things that we've talked about. It's like that's kind of my goal is like
Mhm.
you can do so much on the sidelines, but there's different like what I can do is different. And so, I try to do like questionnaires for them at the beginning of the season of like his players that he like has as
Mhm.
position coaches. And I'm like, okay, what are your goodies? Like, what are your favorite snacks? Like,
Mhm.
and like if it's their birthday, I'll like give them a little note and like a
I love that you
cheesy,
do this. I
cheesy
love
joke
this
on there.
so much because you honestly, and I think that we've talked about this a little bit, but you've actually inspired me, especially now that Philip has like his own specific position group,
Yeah.
that I want to do the same thing. Like, I love that you do that. Like, every week you like get them a little goodie bag
Yeah. And
because
it's
a lot of
nothing any
parents do
big.
that,
Yeah. And it's nothing big. And I think, and one of the things that like, I think the one of the first years that I did it, my mom was like, she said, "Make sure you're praying for each one of them as you put their Gatorades in their bag." And I was
Oh,
like, "You know what? You're right." Like, I don't know why I'm like, it was just not original like a thought. And I think I've tried to be more intentional about that now is because it's like, I'm putting this in there for like your physical health or like
yeah.
whatever that is, but like your spiritual health is like just as important to me. And so, and I think that's something that's like, I want them to feel safe with us or, like,
Yeah.
feel like they can talk to him or to me, like and there's, like, a couple of kids who, like I had a couple of them. Most of them were soccer boys because they played football
Oh,
and
yeah,
soccer.
yeah,
They'd come in my office and be like, "Miss Woodard, can we talk about this game?" I was like, "No, we cannot. Get out. I
I'm
don't
not
have
ready
the
yet.
energy for you right now." But it's, like it's fun to have, like, those relationships with them, like
Yeah.
I've had several of his kids be like, "Hey, Coach Woodard, ask your wife if she'll make some cookies this week," or like,
Aw.
it's fun because it's like they know that I'm like, it's not just one sided. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
It's a family
it's a
thing.
family affair, and it's like this is what like my mom like if my mom was one of the coaches, like players' moms or whatever,
Yeah.
like that's what she did for us, and
Well, and as a parent, like, I know that, like, when different parents on my kids' little league football team do different things, like, it is truly like, the how much work that takes,
yeah,
and it means something to see. I mean, it goes back to what we were saying earlier, like, that person feels seen, you know what I
yes,
mean? And even if it's because you don't know what they're dealing with whenever they go home, like,
yeah,
you don't know, yes, they may have 2 loving parents, and they may
yeah,
have everything that they need under the sun, or they could be a kid that maybe that was their meal, you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's their meal after a game or before the game or,
absolutely,
nobody else in their life may not tell them how proud they are of them or good luck or
yeah.
something as simple as that. And so you've actually inspired me. I'm holding myself to it. We can make a Costco trip at the
Yes,
beginning of
we
the
can go
season and
together.
just go get a bunch of stuff.
I'll give you all my tips and tricks.
Yes,
It'll be
because I
great.
mean, I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole like cricket thing. They might just, get some handwritten things.
Hey, sometimes that's more special. I'm just my thing is like efficiency. I'm like, how quick can I get this?
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff beforehand.
Was that a dog?
Yeah, you got a dog now?
No.
Oh.
Maybe they're my neighbor. I'm sorry. It
But
sounded like the dog was, like, in the house.
yeah. No, but I do a lot of stuff like ahead of time. So it's
Yeah.
like my thing is like, okay, we always are gonna have 10 games. right?
Okay, yeah, so you can go ahead and
So
I
I
think so. Yeah.
so I
No,
tip I don't know. Anyways,
whatever. We know we have a
rough
certain
estimate.
number of games.
Rough estimate. So it's like typically what I'll do is I'll get on Amazon and depending on how many kids I'll have, I'll just get a big thing of like goodie bags that will
Oh, that's smart,
all
yeah. That'll
do that.
last you the whole
Yeah.
season.
And then I'll do like 10 of their names and then cut it out on the Crickets and then get all of their bags in at one
Oh,
time.
I love that. Like, you
So that
prep essentially.
yeah. So because it's like his first couple days when he's at practice, I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do.
Oh, yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
right. Yeah, like,
So it's
he's
like,
already gone, so
yeah. So it's like might as well utilize the
oh,
time.
I like that, yeah.
So it's like it's like
We can
it's
have a cricket party.
yes, girl. But yeah, it's like I do a lot of pre-prep for it because it's like I'm not trying to do a whole lot on Thursday. There are some times where Preston will get home on a Thursday night and he's like, "Did you get the cookies done?" I'm
You're
like,
like, "Oh, crap, no."
"No."
But, I mean, that does help because then all you have to do Thursday nights is just
Yeah,
pack everything, and then, like you
exactly.
said, if you're gonna make cookies or
There are
something
times where it's
special.
like if it's a playoff game or if it's homecoming, like I like to do something a little bit more special just because I'm bougie. Like I like
I can't wait to see you as a mom, like, this is gonna be so good.
my sister always jokes. She's like, I hope you have like girls because you know how to braid hair and you know how to do all that stuff. I was like, but like, no, I feel like I would.
You would be a killer boy mom.
That's what I feel like. But
I love it.
Preston's like convinced we're gonna have girls.
I mean, I'm happy
So
if you have a girl because I can finally buy all the cute
that's
things
very
because I
true.
can't do that myself, but, whatever the Lord
It's
wants.
so funny because Preston's always like, if we have a boy, then he's gonna be really hard on him. And he's like, if we have a girl, Jenny's gonna be really hard on her.
That's honestly
And
so true.
but truthfully though, it's accurate because I just like in my brain, I'm like, okay, I know how I was. And I wasn't like a bad kid. I just was like very defiant, very
Yeah.
independent. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, my sister's about almost 4 years older than me. And I'm like, I can do what she can do. And my mom's like, girl, no, sit down.
Were you the middle child? You give middle child
No,
energy.
I'm the baby.
Oh, I was gonna say
And
you
it's
give
only
middle
me and
child
my
energy.
sister.
Oh, well,
Like,
so technically you're like middle and baby.
yeah. No, I was I was I was definitely a second child. Like I was
Yeah.
definitely that
You're the
one.
second. I can feel it.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
energy big time. That's why me and Jordan get along so well.
Yeah. I'm the second kid, but I was the more like reserved, like,
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna make any waves kind of a thing.
No, we be splashing out here.
Yes, I love that.
I begged my parents for me to get my ears pierced when I was in first grade, and my sister was in fourth or fifth grade, and like she didn't have her ears pierced, and my dad, I was either my mom or my dad. They're like, you can only get your ears pierced if your sister gets her ears pierced, and so for a week,
Did you like bug her?
100%. I said, Missy, don't you want to go back to school and like have your ears pierced? Like, how cool would that be? And she was
No.
like, I don't like needles. And I was like, just don't look at it.
Like, it'll be over in a minute. It's
Like,
fine.
that's my thought
Man
process
up.
about it. But it's hilarious because it's like, if I want something and like I'm determined about it, like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But like between the two of us, I'm the more like sensitive
That's
one.
so funny.
But it's like, if I want it, we're gonna do it. Like I'm not like I'm definitely that person. It's like I'm gonna cry about it, and I'm also gonna boss up about it at the same
Yes.
time. Like let me cry about it for a second, and then we're gonna get this
And then I'm
done.
gonna pull my pants up and let's go. Like, let's
Exactly.
do it.
Literally yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was Sunday. Preston was like, "You gotta go get these workouts done because we're doing 75 hard right now."
Yes.
And I was like, literally laying on the couch, like in my comfy clothes with a blanket. Like I was
Like, no.
and he was like, like if you don't get them done now, then we're gonna have to do them at like 9 p.m. and that's your bedtime. And I was like,
Dang
okay.
it.
So I literally got on TikTok and I was like, motivation videos for working out. I was like, I need somebody to yell at me right now.
Yes.
I cried about it, then I definitely bossed up and did it.
Hey,
And
that's
then I
not
ran.
hard.
I actually ran. I've been walking, but yesterday
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a little baby about it. We're gonna actually, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I ran
If I'm
and
gonna
I
be out here, I might as well.
yeah, so I ran like 4.5 miles. I was like proud of myself.
Okay, I know this logically makes no sense, but in my brain, if I'm running during a workout, it's going by faster.
A
But it's really
1,000%.
not.
No, but that's
But like in
same.
my brain, I'm like outrunning.
100%. No, okay.
I know that's the stupidest thing
It's called
ever.
runner's math. That's
Yeah.
accurate because I literally thought the same thing yesterday. I was like, oh, 60 minutes is over. That's crazy. I said 4.5 miles. I said normally I only do 4.5 miles. I'm like, Oh, walking, I'm just like takes like an hour and a half, almost
Yeah.
like
You're
2
like,
hours.
"I got done 20 minutes earlier. Look at
Right?
me." You
I'm
know? But,
like
like, logically, I'm like, I know that's not the case. Like, a
it's
45-minute
just
workout is still a
full
45
45
minute
minutes. Yeah,
workout, but,
same
like,
thing.
it feels like I'm really not moving fast. Like, I'm not a fast runner. Like, I would die in a zombie apocalypse, but, like
But, like, you do it as, like, girl math, and it's like, okay, 45 minutes
yeah.
is only 3 15 minutes.
Mm, Sweetie, my
15
mile
minutes 3
is
times.
way longer than 15 minutes.
No, not it doesn't even I'm not
Oh, you're,
even
like,
saying
just talking
just
about,
saying,
like,
like,
breaking
45
it
minute
down.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then if you wanna break it down even more, it's like, that's only 9, 3 5 minutes.
See, you're getting a little too mathy for me.
Well, you do it by, like, big intervals, but, like, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
It's
it's
just
just and then
5
it's like
minutes 9 times,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, but
Okay,
if
so
that sounds
yeah.
scary, then you say it's only 15 minutes 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
See? It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Although one time in 5th grade, one one time at band camp anyways, but one time at 5th grade in 5th grade, my teacher was she was so my class was like all of us were like second children, like,
Oh
you know what I mean? So it
god,
was like all of us
yes.
were rambunctious. But anyways, she, we always complained about we didn't 5 minutes was not enough time for us to go to our locker, go to the bathroom, and get to class on time. That's what we would say all the time, which
'Cause y'all are so
first
busy talking.
100%, but it's hilarious because, our I went to a tiny school, like, it was 100% a lie, like,
Yeah.
we
You
could
probably could have done it in 3.
probably, and she was like one time, she's like, "We're gonna sit here for 5 minutes in complete silence, and you're gonna see how long 5 minutes is."
Oh my god, I would
It was first of all, it was awful, but I was like, "Okay, you're right, 5 minutes is pretty long."
die.
We
That would
learned that
be
day.
miserable. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand silence. Like, I'm one of those people that, like, I will make something up
Oh,
just
you're
like, I
just to
can't
fill
do
the
the silence.
void, fill
You
the
know, some
void.
people are like, "Oh, just embrace the silent." No, and I tell my students that all the time, like, I teach kids how to do interviews,
Oh, yeah.
and,
You have to a
I tell
little
them
bit.
all the time, like, "Just embrace the awkward, embrace the silence.
You wanna know what's
Just sit there and
hilarious?
simmer," and I can't do it myself.
You know what's really funny is Preston can't either. So
Oh, I figured.
our very first date we went on was awful because
Really?
yes, because he would ask me a question and I would, like, sit there and it was, like, something that I, like, hadn't
You're, like,
really
trying to
thought
think
about,
about yeah.
and I was like, "Huh." And then he wouldn't let me answer. He'd just start talking again. And I was like,
I totally
"This
can
ain't"
picture him doing that, like,
I was like,
asking a
"This ain't
question
gonna
and you're not
work
answering fast
fast enough."
enough, so
Yeah.
he's gonna answer the question himself.
Yeah. I was like and I literally left and I texted my friend. She's like, "How did it go? Like, was it great?" And I was like, "It was awful. It was
Like, it
so
was
bad."
terrible.
They're like, "Why?" And I was like, "He talked the whole time." And it's like, I mean, I wanted him to talk, like, I want but,
But, like, could I get a word in?
I don't even think he knows anything about me.
Oh,
Like
no. Oh, no. It's
but
okay. I wore a see-through dress on accident on our first date,
yes,
so it's
queen.
fine. It's fine. And according to him, I yelled at him when I answered the door, so, it all happens.
That's
It's all good. I didn't
hilarious.
yell at him, though,
We
but
all
don't let him
have
tell it.
we all okay, next podcast, we need to all 4
They
of us
should
need to
be
be
in
on
here,
here, and we
yes.
need to talk about,
Like, when
like,
we met
different
and
stuff
stuff.
because I can guarantee you they have
We would
different
have
versions.
different opinions, different versions of what happened because as I let him answer
1,000%.
the door.
1,000%. Okay. Okay, what books are you reading right now? Or what's your favorite author? Which one do you wanna go first?
Well, I don't really have, like, a favorite author, so I'll just say the books I'm reading right now. So
Okay.
I just started hold on, let me pull it up because I can't remember
Gotta
the
pull
name
up
of it. I
Goodreads.
just started it. Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that instead of Kindle. Wait, how do I go to
Unless
my
you're
book?
not up to date on your Goodreads, then you're
No,
slacking
okay.
as a bookie.
I just started The Things We Cannot Say,
Oh, yes, tell me, give me an
by
update.
Kelly Rimmer. No, I literally just started it, like,
Oh,
last
you've
night.
only read 1 page? I'm just
No.
kidding.
I've read, like, 1.5 chapters. So I don't really know
You don't
exactly
have a
what's
real
I know
opinion.
it's a World War II, like, fiction book.
I've heard it's kind of
Um,
emotional, so you're gonna have to give me an update.
yeah, so the first chapter starts off with, like, this lady with her autistic son, and he's, like, having a meltdown in the middle of the store. So that was, like it was
Yeah,
very, like I mean, I don't have a child with, autism or anything like that,
right.
but just coming from, like, a mom standpoint where, like, your kid's, like, flipping out in the middle of the grocery store, like, and everyone's staring,
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Oh, crap. Okay, this is getting real, real quick." So I literally just started that one, and then I picked up Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell
I love
from the
Lisa
library
Jewell.
today. And then Sunrise on the Reaping because I loved The Hunger Games. I have not read The Songbirds, the ballad, whatever it's
Oh, yeah.
called.
Uh-huh.
I can never remember the name. The whatever, the President Snow's version.
Yes.
Um, I haven't read that one yet, but I watched the movie
Yeah.
and it was good. It was okay. Everyone said that the book was better. I just haven't read the book yet. But I've heard so many amazing things about Hamish's story. So I'm like, okay, I have to give it to myself to read it. So those are the three I'm reading. I'm like,
Kinda
I
reading now.
never read three books at one time, but
Yeah,
I'm about to start.
you're branching, my girl.
I've been in a slump. Like, I
I
really have
feel
been in a
that.
slump.
Yeah.
Honestly, ever since we read The Women,
Yeah,
I
it's
have been in a
so
slump.
hard to
It's
find
so
something better.
hard because I was
Yeah.
so invested in that book. Um, but I have like a long list of some to be reads kind of a
Yes.
thing. My goal is 15 books by the end of the year, and I'm currently at 9.
Oh,
So,
easy.
I mean, I think I could hit 20, but we'll see.
For sure.
We'll see. The fall's a little busy. We'll see.
I'm kind of cheating and I'm doing audiobooks right now.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how you do it. I can't do it.
Well, first I was how I'm get through so
Well,
many
yeah, I
books.
guess
And
like
also I'm listening while I'm on my walks for 75 parts. So it
yeah.
like makes it easier. But right
Girl, I'm
now,
listening to silence if I can.
listening to this huffing and puffing that I'm doing, that's what I'm doing.
Wait, that
No,
sounded
but
bad.
LOLs. So I'm reading, like I talked about earlier, I'm reading Find Your People. That's by Jenny
Yes.
Allen. She's a Christian-based author, so it does have a lot of like Christian, like scripture and all that stuff like that, which I really enjoy, but I know not everybody does. But it's been super helpful to see that kind of from a godly aspect and like
Yeah.
trying to find your people and um it's actually encouraged me to kind of do a little bit more branching
Yeah.
out, and trying to figure out, like, I've got really close friends, but it's like I want, I wanna kinda develop that more
Like
a
your
little bit.
group,
Yeah, yeah,
essentially.
yeah, yeah.
I know I see all these people like going on like girl trips. I'm like,
Yeah,
one
that
day,
part.
we're gonna plan a girl trip one
Yeah.
day.
And then I just literally just started it today. I've only listened to the first chapter. I'm listening to it. It's
And you
called
were just clowning me.
well, I just downloaded it today. You got it yesterday.
I got it 2 days ago.
Even worse. Miss, I read so fast.
Shut up.
But, I got One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh, okay.
I've heard good things. I listened to the first chapter, right? But at the very, like, first minute,
Mhm.
I had to back it up and I said, "No way she just said that."
You're like, "Wait, what?"
I said, "Time out." And I replayed it. I said, "She did." I said, "Did I hear that
Oh,
right?"
that sounds good.
And she repeated it again. I said, "Okay, facts." So then
Mhm.
I listened to the whole thing. I said, "Oh, no way."
You're like, "Talk
But
about a hook."
yeah, and, so I don't know enough about it to have a real opinion, but so far it's coming out strong.
See, I love books that hook you in very easily. Like,
Yeah,
if it doesn't grab me in the first, like, 2 chapters,
yeah,
sweetie,
out of there.
I'm not going to, because that's how I was with, what is it? Good Girl, Bad The Good Girl's Guide to Murder or
Oh, yeah,
whatever. The first book was so good. The second book,
not as good.
I just couldn't get into it like I could the second
I
one
have it on
because
my to be read. Should I take it off?
so the first one was good.
Okay.
If you read read the first one,
Yeah,
and then it was a little bit predictable, but it was good.
that's fine. Um, I had just finished, it's called Just Once by Karen Kingsbury,
Mm.
and people said that it was gonna be super predictable, which
Mhm.
partially,
Mhm.
but it surprised me. I was like, "Ah."
It was one of those, like, predictable, but, like,
It's like a feel
still
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a feel good book. It's like one of those it's like a movie and you just like it just makes you feel
Like
good
a
to
comfort.
yeah.
Yeah. Like a
But so
palate cleanser.
that one was really good. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. But she's also a Christian author. But I have saved several because we're going to
You have a big,
Montana.
long list of books, I will say that.
I do have a lot. But I did have a couple saved because we're going to Montana next week. And so I have stuff on my Kindle and then I also have stuff on my audiobooks.
Yes.
So I actually just downloaded The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
You're gonna start it without
Well,
me?
I haven't listened to it yet. I just got it from the library,
If you
like,
start it
to
for me,
audio.
it's fine.
See, I can listen to it on, like, the whole flight, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, but I just started 3 books. Well,
You could
technically, I only started 1. I haven't opened the other 2, but the other 2 are library rentals.
so you have to read
I
them.
have to read them. I have, like, 12 days. I mean, I can
Okay.
always renew it, but
I
they're a
have
hot commodity.
I have 14 days before I can return this book, so
Okay,
you
so I'll figure it out.
yeah, just
Or
you
you start it. Remember how we did that one book where it was like you started it and then I like caught up with you? That was like low key kind of fun
and
because,
then,
and then
vice
you ended up
versa,
having
yeah.
that honestly helped me read really fast.
Really, though.
Maybe you should do that. Start it. Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
And then,
I'm gonna finish this first one because it's a quick audiobook, it's not that.
yeah.
And then I'll probably start it whenever we fly out because
Yeah,
it's
that'll be
like
perfect because we'll get back.
yeah, and
And
then
Philip's going to be gone. So whatever.
I think the next one I'm gonna read because I told you I was gonna make a tag for, like, how many are actually on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't have to, like,
What?
buy them, so I went and tagged them, right?
I didn't
Um,
know you could do that.
yeah, I'll show you later, it's really
Okay.
cool.
Because like there's nothing more frustrating than finding a book and realizing it's
You
not on Kindle
you
Unlimited.
still have to pay
Yeah,
$13.
because I'm like, I already pay $13 a month for
Thank you.
Kindle Unlimited. And I told you that too. I'm like,
Yes,
girl, if it's not on Kindle Unlimited, I'm probably not gonna. Or if it's not at the
that
local
part.
library, I'm not gonna read it.
That part. Because Spotify has audiobooks, but I only get 15 hours. So it's like I get a book and a half,
Yeah,
and it's so infuriating because that happened to me
that
right
happened to you
now.
right now.
I'm still waiting because I read,
Girls, okay, tomorrow is July 1st. It should start over to
ooh,
tomorrow.
you're so
Yes,
right. Okay, but I read, The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Good.
Lisa Jewell's actually a really good author. Like her being British kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm a fan.
Have you read None of This Is True by her?
No, but I've heard so many
You
talk about it.
okay,
Is it
we're
on Kindle Unlimited?
I don't know, but it is at the library.
I'm finna go look.
But you need to okay, for real, return Then She Was Gone and get None of This Is True first. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I had it on hold.
Did you really?
Yes, because it's like I'm telling you, both books I've had on hold for like 3 days because like they are a hot commodity.
Fair. Okay. I truthfully think that I think you'll still
Dang
like it.
it, it's not on Kindle Unlimited. That's
It's
fine.
it's so good. But
It's
anyways,
fine. I'll
I
make it work.
read The Family
We
Upstairs
get paid in a few
first.
days. It's fine.
I read The Family Upstairs or listened to it on Spotify because
Mhm.
I couldn't get it on the library app. But I was like, I it helps me because I have an office. I
Yeah.
sit in an office and work, so it's like I listen to it and I get stuff done. Like,
Yeah. It's kinda like your version of like playing music while you're working.
yes, 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 yes. And so then I was like, I started the second book, which is The Family Remains, and I started listening to it on audiobook, and I was on Spotify, and I was realizing I don't have enough time. So then I turned up my speed. I always have it at like 1.2 or
Yeah.
1.4 anyways, but I was like, "Can I understand it if I put it at 1.6?"
Oh, shoot.
I was like, "Will I?" And then I was like trying to do math. I was like, "Am I gonna have enough hours to get it all the way through?" And I was like, "Girl, you're at the beginning of this book. No."
You're gonna make it to the climax of the story
And
and
then
then
you're gonna be really
quit.
yeah, so, like, right now I'm, like, mad because that's kind of, like, where I'm at because it, like, kinda had a cliffhanger at the end of the
Yeah.
first book anyways, and so, like, it's like I'm like
So you're like fiending for
yeah, it's
more.
like I know and the worst thing happened, I was listening to it and, like,
Did it
on a
cut off
walk,
mid-sentence?
on my I was on a walk and, like, the end of a chapter, cliffhanger, right? And
But
they're
at
like
least it
and then
didn't cut off mid-sentence.
yeah, but then it was like, "You're out of audiobook listening hours." So I was like I was so mad.
You're like, "Crap,
In the
now
middle
what
of
do I
my
do?"
walk, and I was just grumpy.
Well,
Yeah.
tomorrow's July 1st, so
That's true,
you have some time, you know.
I'm really gonna have to look at that. But yeah, those are what I'm reading right now. I'm doing a lot of, like I just feel like I finished a lot of suspense. Suspense and thriller, put both of the words together. But,
I feel like I just did that, like, off of Billy Madison where he was like, Today, Junior."
yes. No, but really. But yeah, so I have all these ones on Kindle. I, like, went through and tagged them. I had to go find them first
Yeah.
and then, like, went and made tags, so I have all these ones. I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna read for on the airplane and stuff like that, or if I'm just
Yeah.
gonna listen to it. I think I need to read on the airplane because I have anxiety, and I just think that I need to be, like,
Yeah.
fully distracted, not just, like,
See, I wish I
mentally
could read in the
distracted.
car because 'cause we're driving, we leave
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow, and I really wish that I could read, but Philip will want to talk or jam out the entire
Oh,
ride. Like,
yes.
I'll take some Dramamine and read, but I think he'll be wanting to talk because I know the boys are gonna fall asleep. Like, I just know
Yeah.
that's gonna happen. So, no
N
reading for me.
Nothing irritates me more than when we're in the car somewhere, and I don't even have to be reading, like, my actual book, but, like, I love my husband, and I love that he wants to, like, talk to me. I'm so appreciative of that. I understand that I need to be appreciative of that. But if I'm trying to read something
It is so annoying.
and you know that I'm trying to read he has
Yes.
this terrible habit of, like, being quiet for, like, 10, 15 minutes.
When
Cool.
you are available to talk, he's quiet.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Okay, he wants to chill, just drive." I'm like, "Perfect. I'm gonna read my book." Pull my book out. All of a sudden, he's chatty
Literally,
Cathy.
it's like an alarm that goes off in men because Philip has done that to me the last that's probably I haven't started this book yet. It's because
Yes.
he like normally our like lately our summer routine has been like when the boys go to bed, like we're both so exhausted
Yeah.
from like spending time with the boys that Philip wants to play the game with
Mhm.
Preston
Yeah.
and some whoever else he's been playing the
Whichever
game.
hooligans are
Yeah,
around.
whoever else they've roped into it. And I'm like, cool, I'm gonna sit down to read. Well, literally the last like 2 nights, Philip has been like come and sit, which I love. He's come and like sat on it. He's gonna be like, I guarantee you when we get out of this room, he's gonna be like, so you don't want to watch TV with me anymore. but
100%.
but I told you we started Squid Games, and so he'll
Yeah.
come and like sit down to like watch Squid Games. I'm like, well, I was gonna go lay down and read, and he's like, oh, you don't want to watch? I'm like, no, we can watch it. And he's like, I mean, if you don't want to watch it with me, and I'm like, no, it's fine.
They're
Like,
always so dramatic about it.
right?
It's like
And they call us the drama queens.
that
Whatever.
part. I
Mm-mm.
sometimes I have to, like, give him forewarning, like, before dinner. I'm like, "Hey, I think I'm just gonna, like, go lay down and read after we eat." And he's like, "Okay, cool."
That would be smart. I might have to do that because I did do that last night, or
Yeah.
was it last night? Was it yesterday? I don't know. I told him I was like, "Hey, I need to take like an everything shower. I need to self tan,"
Yeah.
and he literally came in. So like this might be TMI, but I like to air dry. Like I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
like whenever I get out of a shower, I don't want to immediately put a bunch of clothes on.
No.
And so he and I can hear him because of our
Yeah.
bedroom is like right off the living room, and he's like, it sounds like he's having a blast with the
On
boys.
the
Like they're
video
like,
game?
no, with our children. It was
Oh.
before they went to bed. It was like before bedtime, and so
Yeah.
like Theo was losing his mind, but like Philip was doing everything he could to like keep him
Yeah.
entertained. The boys, I think they were like wrestling or something. I don't know. It was loud. And then Philip walks in and he's like, "Babe, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I told you that I
Yeah.
have to self tan, which requires me to air dry, which
Yeah.
requires me to moisturize and all these things."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I've been out here fighting for my life." I was like, "It sounded like you were having fun to me." My
Like,
bad.
I'm confused.
Oops.
The screams sounded like screams of excitement to
Yeah,
me.
I heard laughter. I don't know
Yeah.
who was laughing. I mean, whatever. My bad.
Was it crying? Was it crying, laughing? Like, laughing so you don't
I
cry?
think Theo might have been crying laughing, but, like, that's because it was his bedtime, but, like, the boys were definitely laughing, but it was so I mean, it was so funny because he literally came in and, like, Theo was, like,
Yeah.
over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes,
Yeah.
and he looked genuinely confused. Well, come to find out, like, Philip had texted me and was like, "Hey, tell me when you're done,"
Oh.
and that way, because like, we needed to get Theo a bath or
Tag team a
whatever.
little bit.
Yeah, and so I didn't see that text, so he
Yeah.
thought I just was sitting there chilling,
Just
and I was
hanging
like, "Well,
out,
I mean, kind of I am,
praying
but,
his
like"
downfall, really.
like, sorry. I'm like, "This is how it feels when you take 45 minutes to poop.
That part.
Sorry."
It is not that serious. Like, I've not
I'm just
intentionally
exposing him so bad. Oh my god.
it's fine. But men in general, they're terrible about that. Like,
Yeah.
and Preston always says he always has to ask me because I swear as soon as he, like, gets up, I'm like, "No, I have to go to the bathroom."
Yes.
We only have 1 bathroom in our apartment. So it's like, there's still 2 people in here, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
"Bruh,
like,
be
I'm
considerate."
yeah, like, I shouldn't have to wait a full hour before I have to use the restroom again.
Yeah.
No, totally fair. Because I don't like using the boys' bathroom because if you have boys at home, you
Yeah.
know that that is like,
Sometimes I wanna clean
ugh.
the bathroom for them. Like, not that it's really not that bad, but, like, sometimes I'd be like, "No,
Oh, I
no."
refuse. I refuse to go in there. They are in charge of cleaning their bathroom, which is why I give everybody fair warning when you go into our home. Like, I have 2 boys who don't like to pay attention when they pee. Like, they just think that
That
it's
part's
going in
really
the
not that bad. It's
it's
promise.
everything else.
Yeah, 'cause it's like, the other day I went in there and there was, like, 3 towels, like, just, like
Oh my god, because they
hanging from
don't hang
things.
stuff up.
It's like 2 of them were on the floor, one of them soaking wet, and then, like, I guess they had I don't even know if it was in the morning, but, like, there was, like, toothbrush and toothpaste, like, all over the
Yes,
place.
that
I
is
was
Maddox. Oh
like
my god, that's Maddox and his ADHD. So, first of all, we found out at, I think it was last year, when he took showers, he
Yeah.
would also, put the stopper in, so it was like a bath shower.
No.
And he would sit on the floor in the bathtub while he's supposed to be showering and make waves. I'm so serious. And so we would always come down there and there'd be water everywhere. I'm like, Maddox,
No.
you are 8 years old, 9 years old. Why are you literally having a surf session in the bathtub right now?
Surfboard.
We used to get, well,
Surfboard.
so now Jordan has started to do it. Jordan wants to go he begs to take a bath and then he gets water everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's why I don't venture down there because if I do, it's
It's
gonna
too
stress me
much.
out. And
It's too
so,
much.
fair warning, if you come to my house, I have 3 boys.
Yeah.
Hi.
But
Hey. Oh, sorry, we're being told to wrap it
I
up
know,
now.
they're both just staring at us.
We wanna make sure you'll have 2 parts. Oh,
The sass, that's mine.
this must be one of those we were just outside fighting for our lives
That's
with the
probably
boys.
exactly what it was.
I know, I can smell.
Yeah, Theo's need one of them.
Blech. Smells like outside in my house right now.
100%.
Do we have to go out?
Just go out the garage and just leave. I think
Yeah.
the keys are in the car, so we're
You
good.
know what? Dang it. Oh my god, do you smell that?
No, I'm so close to this mic because I got in trouble last
Oh
time I
my
wasn't close
god,
enough
he
to this
shut the
mic.
door and it's like a giant whiff of outside.
I promise you it's probably just him. Sorry.
I don't want to go outside.
Oh, no, I smell it now. It took a minute, but I
Oh
smell it now.
god.
But yeah, this has been so fun.
I know. I'm glad. I love getting no one ever sees this side of it. We should start our own
100%.
podcast. We'd be way cooler at it than they would.
Well, if we might do a vlog. We can maybe turn it into
I think we can. We can do it.
It'll be so fun.
YOLO.
We'll have updates on that and you can follow us along. It'll be so good.
It'll be good.
But yeah, Friday nights, it's coming very, very soon. Preston's
yeah.
already drawing plays up.
I think their official first day of work is in 3 weeks?
3 weeks, I
Something
think.
like
Yeah.
that. Give or take 3 weeks. I think first day is
It's like the last week of July.
yeah. It's like the week they
The
go to coaching
21st or
school, I
something.
think.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks?
Soak up these
It's
last
fine.
few
It's gonna
weeks.
be so good. We're going on vacation this week. Y'all are going next week.
Yes.
And then life begins again.
It does. A
Another
whole new
round.
season. It's been gonna be great.
Woo. Anyways, well, this has been another episode of Fourth and
Whatever.
And we're glad you stuck around. We look forward to seeing y'all, and we'll see y'all on Friday nights.
Later.
Bye.